Hey everybody, this is Joe from Bassett, Indiana, and I just wanted to do a review today on one of my personal favorite rods. It's the St. Croix Mojo bass rod. I have some pros and cons to talk with you about today. I'm going to get right into it and talk about the features of the rods. The blanks are SC2 carbon graphite blanks, I believe. They have bass and forecast guides, which are like an aluminum oxide guide with like a black chrome finish. I'll show those to you in a second. They're all fitted with Fuji reel seats on both the casting and spinning models. Um, Premium cork and a 5-year warranty through St. Croix, which is the Gold Star plan. I want to start off by saying that I own 6 of these rods. I've got 4 on the table to show you today, 2 in each of the casting and spinning. There's 4 models in the spinning. There's about 15 to 16 models in the casting. These are technique specific rods, and they're all labeled on the end section of your rod here what they're made to do. That's jig and worm, 6'6" medium heavy power fast action rod. They'll all be marked like that. They're all made for specifics. They also, aside from they have 3 casting models, which are the glass crankbait rods. Everything else is the SE2. Um, Pros on these rods are, for one, I'd like to say the quality of the rod is great. They're very solid. Sensitivity is also great on these rods. You can, especially with the spinning models, the lighter spinning models like the drop shot or wacky style, you can really feel the bottom. Um, I the grip design on the casting rod with the Fuji reel seat is great. You know, I've got a big hand, and as you can see, this would be a bait caster here, and it fits really good in the hand. Um, Guides, it's got a double coat of slow cure finish on them. They're sensitive. They're a good quality middle of the road rod. They're not going to be your $250 G Loomis rods. They're not going to be like the Legend Tournament, but they're also going to be more bang for your buck than your $30, $40 ugly stick or Field and Stream Tech spec rods. A few of the problems that I did see, uh, they don't really bother me, but a lot of people will complain about it, and I'll show you here on this spinning model. Move that up. If your reel is seated in here and you're fishing with it, these threads are exposed, and some people feel that when they're fishing that kind of digs into their hand or it's uncomfortable. I don't seem to have a problem with it. Some people do. My best advice would be, if you really want to pick one of these rods up, or if you already did and this is bothering you, go to your sporting goods store or Walmart, Meijer, and get either the tennis racket or golf club tape, and one piece you should be able to put just right around that after you've seated your reel, and that should solve the problem. I know some people think that they shouldn't have to do that on a $100 rod, but you know, it's one of those things where it only bugs some people, and other people it doesn't. I have the rod I'm showing you now is a spinning model, tubes and grubs, 7-foot, medium power, fast action. If you want a Mojo bass rod that's going to be your all-around fishing rod, I would suggest this one highly for a spinning model. For the casting model, all around, I would say, depending on the size you want, both the jig and worm and the spinner bait would probably be best for being versatile. Medium heavy, fast action. Spinner bait rod is 7 foot. Jig and worm is 6'6". They also have heavy action rods. One of the ones I own is the Frog and Slop, which is my dedicated frog rod. Heavy rod, very strong, capable of throwing heavy baits and pulling big bass out of heavy cover. One thing I'd like to say is, if you get a chance to go look at these in the store, when you do, one of my complaints, my little pet peeves with St. Croix, is that they've sent these into Mexico to be made. They're coming out of Mexico, and I've noticed in the store, and I've noticed it only on a few rods, and I've probably looked at a few hundred, is that at the very end of the blank on the tip, the the cure, the finish on the rod is sometimes uneven up here, and it almost looks like the blank has got like a little S curve, and it looks a little crooked, when in fact it's not the blank, it's the finish. I emailed St. Croix about it, and they said that it shouldn't affect the strength of the rod, but I just have tried to stay away from purchasing any of those with the crooked finish. Um, I would just look the rods over real good if you're going to buy them. Make sure your eyes are straight. Make sure your finish is good. Make sure the wrap around the eyes is smooth and done correctly, because these are coming out of Mexico. They're bulk producing them. They're not like the Legend Elites where they're $400 rods. The Legend Tournament, Legend Elites, where they're being handmade in the USA in Park Falls. These are made in Mexico, and chances of you getting one, I mean, I don't know how great. Like I said, I've seen about 2 or 3 rods that have had defects to them sitting on the shelves out of about 200, 300. So some people would consider that a high percentage. I don't. Um, if you're really looking to get into a rod, you want something strong, you want good quality, you want sensitivity, and you have a budget, I would highly suggest taking a look at these rods. $100 is what I've paid for all of mine, except for the Frog and Slop, the heavy rod. It was like 110 or 120, I believe. I mean, you can't go wrong with these rods. And the best thing about these rods is if something does happen to go wrong, manufacturer defect or not, you can send it to St. Croix. If they find that it was a problem on their behalf, $20 get you a brand new rod. Say you close it in the door, your buddy steps on it, you go to free a snag, and you snap your rod. You're trying to swing a bass in, and which I never advise doing. And your rod tip snaps. $50, no questions asked. You send the rod back with a check or money order, $50. They send you a brand new rod. Or say you buy the Mojo, you want to step up. They also have a exchange program where if you break this rod, you want to change up, you send them the $50 plus the difference for whatever rod you want. This rod being 100, Legend tournaments are about 220. So you would send them 120 altogether, and you would get a brand new Legend tournament rod, or whatever rod you want. You can only upgrade though, you can't go down. But I think the best thing about St. Croix is their customer service. They have great customer service. They're not going to let you down on the rods. And if you have a problem, they're there. They answer phones. They answer emails right away. But 3.9 ounces is what all these weigh about, with the frog rod weighing a little more, and some rods like the drop shot weighing a little less, but they're all right around the 3.5 to 4 ounce range. Light rods, sensitive. I suggest you give them a try. I'm hoping to get some videos out, catching some big ones on the Mojo bass soon, so I can show the strength. Hope you enjoyed the video. Comment if you have any questions. Leave a comment. Give me some likes, and I'll get some more reviews out to you. Thanks.